So if you want to drive somewhere that honestly you can barely walk, can I recommend this machine in front of me? It is the most fantastically named four-wheeler in the world. It's called a fat truck, which is made by a company called Zeal Motor Inc. in Quebec. And I have some technical details and then one very important question about this machine. So it is 2.5 meters wide. It's nearly 3 meters tall, and yet it's less than 4 meters long, which is actually shorter than my old Defender, but it can still fit 8 people or 1,100 kilos of payload inside. In the middle of it is a 2.2 litre Caterpillar diesel engine, which drives some hydrostatic hydraulics, and the left and the right wheels are locked together. So amazingly, it can turn in its own length. It's also buoyant. So the hull is buoyant itself, but you can inflate and deflate the tyres on the go. On land, it has a top speed of 25 miles an hour. In water, it has a top speed of 3 miles an hour. It is an amazing 2.5 ton plus machine. So the question is, what is it for? So what it's for is if you have people and kit that you want to take to inhospitable places, fire rescue, search and rescue, or more likely utilities companies, to get out to wind turbines or pipelines in the absolute middle of nowhere in whatever conditions you can throw at it, you get one of these. It is brilliantly simple to use. It's quite noisy, as you may be able to tell, but it's really simple. I've got sort of in-cabin controls for lights and heating and stuff here, and a camera that's on all the time, but the main driving control is all done via this joystick, just one joystick. There's no pedals, there's no anything else, there are gears, but there's no shifter to worry about. You just put the little joystick in forwards and change up and down through the gearbox with two little buttons on top. There's a low and a high ratio, which affects the sort of speed you can go. And then the compressor and the hydraulic actuators just put more through flow through to the wheels as you go up through the gearbox. So the engine still turns over at the same sort of 2600 RPM all the time, and you just keep it nailed, and away it goes. And then when you want to turn, just come back down through the gearbox. It slows it right down, and this is what's absolutely remarkable about it. It'll basically turn in its own length, and it is virtually unstoppable. There are different drive modes which you may be familiar with if you drive a Land Rover. Mud, trail, snow, water. The difference here is that they affect the tyre pressure. So if you go into water, you just increase the tyre pressure massively. That increases the buoyancy a bit, but it also gives the big sort of shovels on the edge of the tyres more purchase. And one of the beauties of the fact that it doesn't have tracks, it has tyres instead of tracks, means that as you go over terrain, it just sort of softens with the terrain and does less damage to it. And if you want to come to a stop, you just take your arms for everything, and it brings itself down to a noisy, if quick, stop. And then you can change gears even at standstill. Now, it is not the only vehicle like this on the market. You may be familiar from YouTube and other stuff with a thing called a Shirk, which is a Ukrainian sort of equivalent of this. It's not as sophisticated, it does use gears, it's got more going on. It's also a little bit cheaper than this as well, but the two do compete with each other. But if you do fire and rescue, if you do mountain rescue, but mostly it's for getting utilities employees out right in the sticks to wind turbines or pipelines or stuff like that, and to get them there refreshed and ready for a day's work, and get them back again, which they wouldn't otherwise be able to do without enormous difficulty. It is absolutely wonderful. What a fantastically sophisticated and brilliant machine. Just awesome. Love it to bits.